All right, it's Tuesday, December 27th. This is an end of the day SPY recap. And you can see here today was essentially a directionalist day that pretty much stayed with inside the previous bar, which was also an inside bar of its previous bar. So the whole theme of today was how you were going to approach yesterday's inside bar. Were you going to break out and then work towards its target higher? Were you going to break out lower and work towards its target lower? Or were you going to possibly break out and fail either way? And in this case, since neither happened, you just had to go for clues along the way what might be developing. So if we look at the opening chart, the pre-market range was kind of pretty much, between the the blue lines here, and we opened up near the bottom of the range. So the first move we had on the day, if you look at the 15-minute chart, was a down move below that pre-market range. If we expand it out, we could see here, here was the pre-market highs. We moved lower, so there was a bit of a sell opportunity here to see if we would kind of work down below the midpoint of this bar towards the low of that bar. And what happened was price paused here for 2 bars. And at that point, I shot like a morning video saying, look, we're still inside of yesterday's bar. We pretty much reached the midpoint we're holding. So at this point, either we just pause and continue or we might fail. So we came up to the midway point of the first bar. I said that was likely a sign of a failure on the day to go down. So at that point, you were looking for a test at least of the intraday high and to see if that would break out and either continue or not towards its overnight high, the pre-market high. So once we came up here, to the it was close to the intraday high, you wanted to see if that would then start a move back up towards the intraday high. And as it turned out, it made one move up there. It kind of broke the intraday high, paused a little bit, tried another move up there and failed as well. Then you had a big red bar. At that point, I put a midday video out saying, I'm going to call that, for at least for now, a temporary failure of this breakout above the first bar high, moving towards the intraday high, moving anywhere above, yesterday's inside bar high. And we ended up kind of having 2 pushes down towards the bottom of the range, rallied a little bit, and then had a failure. So, tomorrow is the same theme pretty much as today. You got 2 inside bar. That's a compound inside bar. We're going to have to see where the pre-market range is, if we break out higher. It gets even more meaningful now if we could break out and fail and then start lower. That'll really start the push down. Or if we head lower and fail and start up, that'll start a push up. Overall, if you really look at the bigger picture, since we've had this big down move here, all we're doing is really consolidating. So it almost looks to me like it's making a push down consolidation for another push down. The question is, do we do it right now, or do we have to broaden out a little high? Like here, we made a lower low, higher high, lower low. Do we have to make one more higher high, fail, and then that'll be, if we ever do that, make a higher high and fail uphill, that'll be exciting to really get another leg down from this move back here. On the weekly chart, we're still down 3-4 weeks in a row, red, and we started this week a little red. So now we also have this purple line in play. That's the open of today to show if we can get above there, that at least continuity-wise sets the weekly chart a little green, and then we'll see if we get the follow through to our targets and if we break above there. The only way the market really goes up strong for me at this point is if we break above the weekly high here and hold and continue. So you're going to look for that in a shortened week, but for now it's kind of just it was a directionalist day, tough day to trade. If you're going to kind of anticipate a short trade here, you kind of had to take a very small loss. Then you had an opportunity, maybe if you wanted to get long, to kind of for an hour and a half, 2 hours, saw that nothing was happening. And then if you wanted to go short here, there was a, scalp trade to the bottom of the range, but it didn't really follow through. And, that was what you were going to monitor. Can you kind of break below this intraday low the intraday low here, which would have been the 2-up failure on this little inside bar. We didn't get that. So anyway, double compound inside bar that now, either sets a stronger breakout or a stronger failure in motion. And we'll just see what happens tomorrow.